The name comes from the name of the founder, Ahmad, Mizukun Ahmad. And the IYYA part is the iti, as in Christianity. That's the Arabic equivalent of that. And I have probably the best English library of anybody in the country on Ahmadi Islam. It's absolutely fascinating. And you can go down to the mosque in Europe, they'd love to have you. They'd love to see you. I'll call them up and tell them to come. If you're a woman, you have to sit in the back, but that's the way Muslims are. There's no stuff about that. It's the way the world takes shape for these folks. Another one is Nichiren Shoshu. I'm always tempted to do that. Has anybody ever heard of Nichiren Shoshu? That's also fallen into disrepair a bit. It's gone out of the public eye because they had a fierce leadership struggle also a couple of years ago. But it's a Buddhist sect founded on the teachings of Nichiren Daishonin, 13th century Japanese monk who was a bit of a fanatic and thought that he was the return of the Buddha, or the realization of the Buddha for his age. These are the people who chant, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. If you do that long enough, things happen to your head. And things happen to your life. There were a couple of Nichiren Buddhists around here. I've got some friends whose members of whose family are Nichiren Buddhists. One of them. Fascinating group of people. Tenrikyo, I doubt that we'll do it, but I'm still tempted by it. It's an idiosyncratic Japanese sect, which is in the United States. In fact, they have a small church down on Jennifer Street in Washington, D.C. And last year I ventured to have the minister of that church come to class, and he came up. We had a wonderful time with him. But it's in the rush and opportunity of all of these other things to do, it may not be possible to take any time to do a thing like Tenrikyo. But it's the religion of God the Parent. It was founded in Japan also back in the 1880s by a woman who woke up one day and said that in her backyard she found the navel of the universe. So the navel of the world was in her backyard. And I've been there. I mean, I didn't see the navel, but I saw her backyard. She's Miki Nakayama, otherwise known as Oyasama, which is sort of a title of beloved one, or something like that. And sect of Tenrikyo is, I would say, worldwide, probably about 8 million. In the United States, less than 1 million, probably. And a lot of them are Japanese immigrants. Most of the Tenrikyo women that I have known were wives of American servicemen. Anyhow, it's a very consoling religion. It's a very fascinating religion. And I can teach you the chant, Ken Ryo no Mikoto, Ken Ryo no Mikoto, Ken Ryo no Mikoto. And that also does things to your head and does things to your life. So anyhow, the ones here's what I'm trying to tell you. The first 8, definitely, we're going to concentrate on them, and people are going to give reports on them, and we're going to have people visit us from them. The other ones are kind of additions that are interesting, not just idle curiosities, but in some instances locally and down near Bryn Athyn, Pennsylvania, like that. That's the religion in Bryn Athyn, Pennsylvania. It's a northern suburb of Philadelphia, just off of the Beltway, near the George Washington, or near the George Washington Motel. That's this huge temple down there. So all of these things are interesting. The ones we'll commit ourselves to are the Mormons, the Baha'is, the Unifications, Christian Science, Church Universal, Triumphant, Eckhart, Jehovah's Witnesses, Ishkan, Scientology, and then I hope we can also get some time in one of these other ones, and I will badger you about them. Now, what are your responsibilities? Number one, your responsibilities are to be extremely tolerant of these folks. That's not a casual observation. Things don't work out often the way they are supposed to. We'll be crowded. But hopefully I've got things working, invitations out, acceptances. so that we can spread this, especially the eight movements, we can spread that out in a sensible way. We can be prepared for them. What you will do in addition to your own personal research on specific aspects of each one of these movements, everybody can read the appropriate chapter in the book, America's Alternative Religions. Okay? And that's what you see on page 2. I will also have available, at least occasionally, materials from the other groups that will be visiting us. For example, the Jehovah's Witnesses, I will go out to the Kingdom Hall and get a box of books, flyers, pamphlets for you, and give them to you, and then I will ask you to make a contribution. 25 cents, 50 cents, something like that. But also practically everybody will provide us with some of their own stuff. Brochures, flyers, pamphlets, books, newspapers, or whatever else. And you will have all that stuff available to you. But it will still require a lot of tolerance on your part to make your way through this course with me, because it doesn't work perfectly. Things don't work out to your convenience or to my convenience. But I'll do my best to keep all the balls in the air. Your responsibilities, let's talk about that briefly anyhow, then I want to get to work on establishing perspectives on what we're doing on these alternative religions. Well, you can read that. An essay on a particular aspect of the religious movement to which you are assigned. And if you do something on the Book of Mormon, let's say, or you do something on the life of Elizabeth Clare Prophet or whatever else, then that's your paper. That's your paper. Okay? Everybody will hand in an essay, 4-page report on some aspect of the movement that you have been assigned. You will also submit a 4-page paper in which you apply at least one of the critical ideas presented by the instructor, and I hope to get to that today, and you start to get there anyhow, in which you will use one of the interpretive or critical ideas to make sense of some religious movement or tradition that you're familiar with, one that we deal with in class or one that we don't deal with in class. But to put to work some of the ideas that I will share with you. And then, of course, there will be a movement exam, and you see how those things are distributed. Okay. Now, let's get to work. I know we have to do, at least on my clock, we have 5 minutes. I realize the internal bell has rung, but mine will not yet. The problem that I am confronting us with, and I say us because I'm included in that, this whole enterprise, this whole exercise is just, you'll see, it rattles me, it upsets me, and I will, before the course is over, some of you will think I'm being neurotic. Because I am caught, and I intend to catch you in a real dilemma. I want you to see strange things and not see them as strange. I want you to see and be in the presence of strange people and strange ideas and strange practices, and learn somehow or other to get inside of this machine up here and tune it in such a way that you don't simply take refuge in stereotyping and dismissive responses. The one thing that makes us, I understand, the one thing that makes us and them not different is so obvious that I hate to bring it up. We all have 2 legs, 2 arms, a head. We all have our private lives. We all have our social involvements. We are all, as one can so casually say, human beings. And we live in a world that has given up being constrained by that simple fact. The Jehovah's Witnesses, however irritating they may be to you, Christian Scientists, however far-fetched their arguments may seem to you, the Unificationists, however threatening their claims may seem to you, the Hare Krishnas, however quaint and nutty their presence may seem to you, they're not. They're just people doing what? people are committed to a religious persuasion in a non-casual way. And we're dealing with alternative religions, so we're not dealing with people whose commitments are casual. These are serious. Real serious. Probably much more serious than I am when I go to church on Sunday. And I'm a pro at it. And I know how to do that. But I suspect some of the people that come here would put me to shame. They'd put most of you to shame too. In the seriousness of their persuasion and in the intensity of the way they grasp what they've got. The course is called Religion from the Center to the Fringe. It really should be called the continuum of American religions. And we all fall somewhere on that continuum, or some of us actually fall on it by falling off of it, because you've given up being religious for one reason or another. These folks have not given it up. They're on it. But they're on a continuum. And let me make a proposition now, and then we'll quit for the day, but just give you something to think about. And in addition to giving you an opportunity to confront, quote, strangeness, I'm also, hopefully, in a position to give you some ways of dealing with this strangeness so that the strangeness is not strange. Let me make the following proposition that you can think about. And it's going to come off first as a negative proposition. When you want to understand somebody else's religious commitments, don't ask them what they believe. The whole Christian tradition, and I will sometimes be critical of the Christian tradition. I can do that. Why can't we not be able to do that? Because the Christian tradition has, over the years, in a very imperious way, defined religion in terms of what people believe. That is what creed they recite. And that's what the word creed means. It's from the Latin word credo, I believe. When you go to church, and the first thing that happens, not the first thing, but often sooner or later somebody asks you to stand up and recite this creed or that creed. The Apostles' Creed, the Athanasian Creed, this creed or that creed. Unless you're a Baptist, you know, the Baptists don't recite creeds. The Mormons don't recite creeds. There are whole rafts of religious traditions that are even Christian, that are non-creedal. The whole Baptist tradition is non-creedal. If you're a Baptist, if you're a Southern Baptist, a Northern Baptist, a National Baptist, whatever else, you never recite a creed in the Baptist church. You know that? No. It's only the Protestants and the Roman Catholics who recite those creeds. The Mormons don't recite creeds. The Witnesses don't recite creeds. What's happened over the centuries is that Christianity has defined religion in terms of creeds. And let me make the following suggestion to you. And I've been working on this for the last couple of years, and I have a long essay done, which I'll put some copies on reserve if you want to try to figure out what I'm talking about. Don't ask people what they believe, because right away they'll tell you. And then you don't know anything, because that's a way of putting you off. Leave me alone. This is my territory. What we have to ask is, what relationships do they celebrate, and what relationships control their lives? Yeah, that's the question I would ask. What are the relationships that define the life of a Jehovah's Witness? What are the relationships that define the life of a Latter-day Saint or Mormon? Let me give you just a quick example. I don't know what the unificationists of the Moonies believe. I don't know what they believe. And what they believe, I think, is really incidental to what they are. Because what they are people who are living out a relationship with Reverend Sun Myung Moon and his wife, a relationship they define in terms of their submission to the Messiah of this age. It's not that they believe this about Reverend Moon. It's that they feel this relationship and define him in this way implicitly in this relationship. So one of the things, one of the critical ideas that I'm introducing now is simply this one: don't. I shouldn't sound